Well, good morning. Welcome to Agape, the home of love. I teach how to better self-love through conscious living. We look at the teachings of the science of mind as written by Ernest Holmes, and we practice Zen Buddhism. We see that they're a perfect blend to move into this world where we both identify with the infinite and we identify with what we call the reality we live in. So today, understand that I'm going to be talking about something unique, about prioritizing the 80%. In other words, prioritizing what really values. And we're going to explore that in depth. But before we do, let's take a moment and let's get centered. So I invite you to come into a comfortable seated upright position, your back straight, hands gently resting on your laps. That's it. Just get comfortable wherever you are, however you feel good. Now, take a long, slow, deep breath in. That's it. Now hold it for a second. And now as you exhale long and slow through your mouth, make your exhale longer than your inhale. All right. Breathe in again. Hold it. And breathe out. Breathe in. Hold it. Breathe out. Now allow yourself to return to easy rhythmic breathing. Know that your breath is life expressing through you. Your breath is bringing life into your body. It is nourishing. It is purifying. Your breath is the rhythm of life. It moves in, it moves out. Your heart beats in, it beats out. Your blood circulates out, then it comes back in. The waves of the ocean come in and they move out. Your breath is in harmony with life. And so you feel this deep sense of peace flowing through every cell of your body. A sense of peace is a sense of love, because love is the absence of judgment. With the absence of judgment, everything is peaceful. The only thing that can take us out of peace is judge. And so we release the judge. We let the judge go. And as we let the judge go, we fall into the natural state, that connection, that oneness, the allness that we're constantly, whether we realize it or not, a part of. You see, we live in an illusion that we're separate. In reality, all we have to do is peel away the illusion and reveal the oneness. We don't grow into oneness. We reveal oneness that's already there. And so in this state of oneness, we're now open to hear new ideas, new ways of seeing life, of being with life, of creating in life. And we open to that because it is our natural tendency to grow. As long as we're growing, we understand we have life. When we stop growing, life leaves. And so we bless ourselves. We bless the growth. We bless the challenges. We bless the successes. We bless everything, because we fully understand that as we accept what is, we're able to be free of the past. And we're free of the anxiety that might come up over the future, because we have accepted what is. And we live in the now. And we live as love. So from this beautiful state of being, start to bring yourself back. Take a deep breath in. That's it. And as you release, start to feel yourself come back into your body. Begin to move your fingers, maybe your toes, maybe stretch, whatever's right for you. And when you're ready, open your eyes, coming back to right here, right now. Today, I want to talk about prioritizing the 80%. And when I look at that, I want you to know that whatever the 80% is, it all begins with an idea. Every transformation begins with a single spark. It's like you light a fire with a spark. And what is that spark? It's a new idea. A new idea is the beginning of all creation. So let's talk about the principle here. The first thing is everything starts as an idea in the mind. It's like the conscious mind or spirit plants the seed. The seed is the idea. Then consciousness nurtures that seed. Here's the key. Most people try to change the 20%. What's the 20%? It's the visible. When in reality, you should be prioritizing the 80%, the being behind the doing. You see, almost all illness is a result of something going on internally in an individual. Something that's been going on internally, maybe for decades, it's finally demonstrating in the physical. And so we go to the doctor gives us a pill, and what does the pill do? It masks the symptoms. We're focusing on the 20%. We're not focusing on the 80%. What is the emotions that need to be healed, that need to be brought into balance so that the body can do its natural work? That's what the 80% is. You see, when we honor the unseen, the seen takes care of itself. In other words, when we honor and deal with cause, the effect changes. And cause is always an idea. It is never a hard thing. It's never an external thing. It's an idea within our own minds. So let's play with this in various areas of life. Let's first look at the area of health. If you want to be healthy, the first thing you focus on is the 80%. And 80% is eating, 20% is exercise. The idea here is my body is a living temple of spirit. We start with that idea. And health starts with that idea. I deserve to feel alive. Now think about this. What you eat reflects how you value yourself. Why? Because eating equals the nourishment of spirit. The quality of the food you put into your body determines how the body takes the food and creates. And you know this because your body is always giving you examples. If you eat something, for me, if I eat a couple French fries, my body would rebel because I don't eat fried foods anymore. And so if I want to get healthy, let's say there are people out there that want to drop some weight to be healthier. It's not about doing a lot of exercise. 80% of it is about what you put in your mouth, the eating that you do. And then from the exercise, the 20%, exercise equals it's an expression of vitality, but the vitality comes through the 80%, what you eat. So when I look at this, I love having affirmations. You know that about me by now. And here's my affirmation for health. I honor my body as a sacred vessel of life. Now think about that. If you truly got that, I honor my body, that means you will not put anything in it that could be harmful. Because you honor your body. It's a vessel through which you get to experience life. But we abuse our bodies over and over and over, and finally they give out and we wonder what the heck happened. Well, we didn't take care of the vessel. Let's now move to the idea of wealth, where wealth is 80% habit and 20% math. The idea here is I live in an abundant universe. So what is wealth? Wealth is consciousness in action. And what is consciousness in action? It's our habits. Our habits reflect our inner prosperity mindset. Do you have a habit of saving first, investing first, or do you have a habit of spending everything? It's your habit that creates. Math manages money. Habits manifest abundance. Do you see? So everything you do, I'm going to be very candid here and say to you this. In every area of life, what are your habits? If you went back to health, what habit do you have of eating? All your energy goes, because you can't be conscious 100% of the time. You're not going to be. I don't know of any human that's conscious all the time. So why not build habits in the major areas of life that support living the type of life you want? So from the standpoint of wealth, it's building habits of prosperity. Math, well, that manifests the money. It just manages it. That's what it is, but it doesn't build it. So let's look at that from an affirmation standpoint. Spirit gives freely. Keep your channel open. So much of the time, abundance is staring us in the face and we're not open to receive it because we think it should be in a specific way. It'll come to you in ways that you never even imagined. Let's look at happiness. A lot of people think happiness is fun. Actually, happiness is 80% focus on purpose, 20% on fun. The idea here is my joy is evidence of spirit in motion. I love that. My joy is evidence of spirit in motion. You see, fun uplifts a moment, but purpose sustains the soul. I look at what is my life purpose. Well, to be honest with you, it's very simple: to touch one life each and every day. And how do I do that? Hopefully with a lot of fun. I try to bring fun into it. One of my affirmations is Lee is easy and fun to be with. Yeah, I'm intense. Yeah, I'm direct. But I sure know how to laugh, and I sure know how to bring humor to situations. And in my purpose, to make people understand that they can be so much more than what they are right now and what they think they could be. You see, I believe that true happiness equals meaning plus joy, or you could say having a real purpose and joyfully expressing it. You see, purpose gives our life direction. Fun gives it lightness. In other words, we take things way too seriously. Got to have some fun about it. If I was too serious about influencing or impacting other people's lives, man, I'd be a drag to be around. I wouldn't want to be around me. I like the fun aspect of what I bring to teaching and counseling and coaching. I think that's what makes me unique. So how do we live with this? I live joyfully on purpose. Here's a key thing. You get to determine your purpose, no one else. There is no divine purpose for you. You, and only you get to determine your purpose. Your purpose. But do it with joy. Let's talk about communicating. The 80% here is listening, 20% speaking. The divine idea that we start with, love listens first. What is the one thing that a person in relationship wants more than anything? To be heard. I know that. I've been married almost 53 years. Got another not even 2 months, and I'll be married 53 years. And I know that my wife loves that I will take the time to hear her. The only time we have confusion is when I don't listen. So communication is energy before words. You see, it's not the words, it's the energy that comes before the words. Listening creates communication and understanding, because you can't communicate if you don't know the perspective from which the other is coming, and you cannot have understanding unless you've listened first. Your presence communicates louder than your speech. The energy that you radiate, that being with someone, authentically listening, caring about what they're saying, to understand what they're experiencing, man, that communicates love in ways that you cannot even imagine. It's not saying I love you. It's who you are when you're not saying anything that means everything. That's the greatest communication. So what do we say here? I listen with love before I speak. Listening with love means I listen with acceptance. I listen without judgment. And then I speak only when necessary or only when asked to. Let's talk about the idea of improving. Improving here, it's 80% persistence. It's a commitment to improving and 20% new ideas. The idea here is the universe rewards consistency. Why? Because the universe functions at the level of what do you believe? Well, to build a belief, you must maintain an idea persistently and consistently, consciously and subconsciously, all the time. And our growth comes through practice, not through novelty. I think it's real understanding. What's practice? It's persistence. Take a baseball player. They want to be a great hitter. They're persistent in going up in a batting cage or going up against a pitcher. They're practicing hitting in all different ways that you and I have not ever thought of. But that's where the growth comes from. You see, persistence turns potential into power. Everyone out there has potential, but very few people are persistent at it. People ask me, how come you can get in front of a group and whatever the topic is, and you're asked to speak, you're able to deliver on that topic in an insightful and joyful way? It's pretty simple. I practice speaking every friggin' day. If you went to my YouTube channel right now, you would find that I have over 2,800 videos on YouTube. Now, I also have podcasts at the same number. So I'm always talking because I've learned that teaching is one of my top values. It's my number 2 value. So what do? I'm persistent at practicing it, of course. Here's what I've come to understand. Spirit honors steadfast effort. It knows that you're committed when you're persistent. If you're not persistent, it means you're not committed. Well, why would you be rewarded if you're not committed? So let's affirm this. Each day of persistence is an act of faith. Because when you're persistent, you know the result will happen. Because you've got no doubt. That's why you're persistent. You're going to do what you know is right. Let's look at this idea of learning. I got this really clear in working with my 7-year-old granddaughter. Learning, it's 80% understanding, 20% reading. So my Claire, 7, can read at a much higher level than 2nd grade. But the challenge is understanding what was read, paying attention to what was read and being able to extrapolate that. You see, the idea that we start with in learning is wisdom is applied truth. It's not just, I've read it, I can talk about it. No, it's applied. If it hasn't been applied, tested, and proven, it's not wisdom. You see, reading fills the mind. Understanding, that transforms the soul and it transforms your life. Knowledge plus reflection equals wisdom. I like to learn, I like to act upon it and reflect on it, and then I'm wise. I've got something I know either works or doesn't work. I know how it works, when it works, and what situation it works. And I can share that wisdom because I have practical experience. If I don't have practical experience on something, it's just a bogus opinion. That's all it is. Until you prove something to yourself, it's just a bogus opinion. And yet we're stuck on our opinions, aren't we? We'll express them time and time again because very few of us want to take the time to really understand. One truth outweighs 1,000 unread books. If you live one truth, it's better than all the reading you could ever do. And I think we forget that. There's so many people on the spiritual path that all they do is study, 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 bouncing from modality to modality to modality, but they never become a master. They never become persistent and consistent at a practice. I have so many people come to me, Reverend Lee, I know how to meditate. I meditate. When was the last time you meditated? Maybe last week. Do you meditate every day? Well, no. Do you meditate twice a day? No. So are you living the truth that you understand about meditation? Well, no. I understand it. Well, do you really understand it? You have an idea about it, but you really don't understand it. It's not real because you're not living it. And that's the key thing. We have to learn to live, to understand, and then to embody. Great, simple 5 words. I embody what I learn. Why learn something if you don't embody it? Good thing. If you've been studying and learning about investing and you're not applying it, why are you even studying? There's no purpose. If you're learning about health and you're not doing anything to apply what you learned about health, why are you studying it? It's just an interesting way to observe. Let's go to relationships, one of my favorites. Relationships are about 80% giving and 20% receiving. The idea that I start with is love is the circulation of spirit through me. You see, I realize that love, that accepting is circulating through me. And then from me, I can bring it forward. You see, relationships thrive through giving presence, kindness, and forgiveness. They don't thrive through giving advice, through giving criticism, through being too pointed. No, a relationship thrives just being present. I've been taking my wife to a lot of doctors. I do very little talking, but I'm present there. What am I doing? I'm there energetically supporting. And that's what love is. Love is energetic supporting. Do I talk? When I feel something is being missed, or I feel there could be greater clarity for me and for my wife, then I speak. That's when, but most of the time, I'm giving by being there, being supportive. Here's the other thing, why relationships are so great. Because love multiplies when it's shared. That's what I love about being in a relationship. And one of the things that I know, it's not about just having a life partnership. I believe, and someone asked me this the other day, and I said, one of my affirmations is very simply, I have hundreds of loving, harmonious, supportive relationships. And they said, well, how can you do that? How can you have hundreds of loving, supportive relationships? I said, well, I think it's pretty easy. Actually, for me, it's when I'm talking to you. So right now, you're watching me, right? You're watching me right now. Well, I'm fully present with you. And while I'm with you, I'm going to be so fully present. But then when I'm not with you, I'm going to be fully present with who I'm with next or what I'm doing next. You see, I think that's what love is. I think love is being intimate, fully present with each and every person you're with. And when you're not with them, you don't even think about them because that's keeping you from being intimate with the next relationship, the next event, the next person. That's how you have hundreds of loving, harmonious, supportive relationships because you're being real with everyone. And when you're real with people, they tend to come back and be real with you or they don't stick around. I want people who want to be real. So how do we affirm this? The more love I give, the more love flows through me. There's not a shortage of love. There's a shortage of giving love. Because what you don't realize is that you're an infinite source of love. You've got more than enough to give. The question is, are you giving love to yourself first? Are you accepting yourself? Are you in non-judgment of yourself? Because that's where it starts. The more love you give yourself, the more love that flows through you, the more love you can give someone else, and then the more love that flows through you. So let's take a look at this from the standpoint of spirituality. This is one of my favorites. 80% of it is practice. 20% is what you believe. The idea is, I am one with the infinite. Can you even grasp that? That's the most beautiful thing in the world. When you can grasp oneness, it's everything. You see, our belief plants seeds, but our practice grows them. So when we look at that, practice for me is meditation, mindfulness, and forgiveness. They're your spiritual reps. They're the exercise you're doing. Are you meditating, going into oneness, releasing all the negative stuff, releasing the ego? Then are you mindfully, consciously creating and focusing on that which truly matters? And then are you releasing that which no longer serves, that's not your truth? You practice meditation, mindfulness, and forgiveness every day, you will be leading one of the deepest spiritual lives, and you'll have an incredible experience of the divine. You see, spirit expresses through embodiment, not theory. Most people stay stuck in the theory. It's not in the embodiment of love. And the embodiment of love is, how do you practice non-judgment? Simple as that. How do you practice non-judgment? So, simple. 5 words again. I live what I believe. Oh, think of the power behind that. I live what I believe. And if you know that you're living what you believe, you know that your experience is what you believe. So if your experience is not what you want, what do you got to do? You got to live a different belief, don't you? So it's so simple when you break it down. So here's the pattern. Everything begins with an idea. The 20% equals the spark of inspiration. The 80% equals the daily tending to the idea, to the spark that manifests it. The 80% is going to get you there. The 20% just starts you. Here's a big one. Spirit does not rush. Spirit roots deeply. And when we start to understand that, the tree doesn't grow tall first. It grows deep roots so it can hold a taller branch. That's what you have to do. You've got to build deep roots in spirit. That's your daily spiritual practice. Message here is tend the soil, not just the flower. Don't just spray water on the flower to keep it nurtured. No, water the soil, put nutrients in the soil, keep the weeds out of the soil, and then the flower will blossom and grow. So as we reflect on this, questions I want to ask you to consider this week. What divine idea have you been ignoring? You don't have to tell anyone, but tell yourself. What divine idea have you been ignoring? Where are you chasing the surface instead of the depth? As I work with Jean on working on her healing her back, we are uncovering all of the emotional issues throughout her life that are still open, that have not been yet healed. And we're healing, she is healing those issues. I'm assisting her by helping them come out through hypnosis. And coming out through hypnosis, we find ways to neutralize them. But she's doing the work. I'm not doing any of the work. I'm just there supporting her. We're not chasing the surface. We're looking at the surface, but we're going into the depths because that's where cause is. What 80% needs your presence this week? That's a great question. Where do you need to apply your focus most based on where your life is this week? Once you've got that, understand the power is not doing more. It's about doing what matters most. And you get to decide that. You get to decide how and what matters most, and you get to decide how do I apply myself to have that result. I love that when you focus on the main things, the main thing changes. But if you focus on the little things, the minutia, you're not going to make much progress and you're going to be frustrated. You deserve more than that. You get to focus on the main, the 80%. And then your life just blossoms. I want to thank you for being here today. If you resonated with this message, my God, share it. You know what I don't get? I don't get a lot of comments. I don't get a lot of likes, and I don't know why. Are you people afraid to give me a like? Are you afraid to give me a comment? Prove me wrong this week. On this video, wherever you're watching it, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, on my podcast channel, on Twitter, give me a comment. Tell me what you think about it. Tell me what you would like me to speak about. Don't be shy. If you don't ask, I can't give. And I want to give. Also, I'd ask you to go to agapespiritualcenter.com. On there, you'll see a tab that says Daily Thought Weekly Newsletter. Sign up. Get my daily thought. I put it together every morning about 4:30. Send it out anywhere between 5 and 5:30. It's what's on my mind that day. I don't do things well in advance. I'm an in the now type of guy. And the other thing is, check out our calendar for all the events you can plug into. The one I would probably promote is every morning at 7:02 Central Standard Time, I do a 20-minute guided meditation. You want to start a practice with a group of people? I lead that meditation. It's all based on my thought. It's different every day. It's a visualization. Join me. Get your friends to join. You'd be amazed at how when you do that day in and day out, your life will transform because you're embodying a practice. And also, finally, while you're there on that agapespiritualcenter.com, go to the Giving tab. Make a donation. Why? Because your donation supports this work. And also what you're saying to the universe, I value this work. Therefore, the energy that was given to me, I'm giving back in the form of money to support more people receiving this message. Most of all, you've given me the best gift you've given, especially if you've listened to this point. You've given me your time. And I'm honored, and I will never take advantage of it. I will always be giving you my best because it's what you deserve. It's what I deserve. So with that, it's a great week to be alive.